From WisPolitics in Madison, you're listening to Capital Chats.
Welcome to Capital Chats, brought to you by Spectrum. I'm Joshua Irvin, a reporter with WisPolitics. This week, I talked to State Representative Todd Novak of Dodgeville. His 51st Assembly District has been a regular Democratic target since Novak entered office a decade ago, though rarely more so than this year. Republicans face serious headwinds going into November's elections, and Democrats see an opportunity to take control of the Assembly for the first time in 16 years. I talked to Representative Novak about his race, the failed deal to spend down the state's surplus, school funding, and the future of GOP leadership in the Assembly. I hope you enjoy. Representative Novak, thank you for joining me.
I'm glad to be here.
You have a reputation for winning elections in environments that are at times net neutral on Republicans. What does your pitch to voters look like in 2026?
My pitch and my campaign will be as I run it as I do every campaign. I'm kind of my own brand, and people know me very well out there. I was 25 years as a newspaper editor and mayor of the city of Dodgeville before I got in here. So I have a big name ID, which helps tremendously. And I run a campaign. I stick to the local issues. The stuff I've done for the district, for the municipalities and the areas of my Southwest Wisconsin, my district. So the environment this year will be interesting. So I go into it. I never go into a race thinking I'm going to win. And that motivates me to work hard. I never take anything for granted. I know some people might go into a race and think, well, I got this in the bag. I've never, ever thought that. So we'll see what this year brings as we go out. And I've been out, and it's the same as normal so far. So,
Gotcha. You talk about being your own brand. You are running as a Republican incumbent at a time when the president and the party are, frankly, underwater with voters. How do you avoid or compensate for that drag at running as a GOP incumbent?
Well, the Republican president has never won my district ever. Since I've been in office, the Republican has never won the district. Even my old maps under my new maps. Last election, I believe Kamala Harris won my district by 3 or 4 points. I won it by 2.5. So it really, I'm usually the only Republican at federal and state level that wins. And again, the reason is people look at me as Todd Novak. I'm not hyper partisan. You will be hard pressed to find a partisan press release I've ever released out of my office, and my voters and my constituents like it that way. I would say my district, well, it leans Dem. It's Democratic district. My voters, the voters out there are probably middle left, middle right for the most part. You got a little bit on the far right and a little bit on the far left, but they're pretty much, they're pretty much in the middle, and that's where I govern at too. If you look at my record, I'm pretty moderate and bipartisan. They like that. I know that every election I'll get hit. I'm not bipartisan. I'm 100% this and 100% that. But the voters know where I'm at.
Gotcha. And what do you make of some of your opponents' attacks, trying to paint you as a friend of GOP billionaire donors at the expense of local services? What do you make of those attacks?
Well, and that's one thing too that I ignore my opponents. I know he said some statements just because my staff monitors. I don't pay any attention to him. I think it's hilarious because I think if he's saying that, I don't think he understands where the money for his race is coming from. So I think it that doesn't resonate with people out there. And I'm one of the top raisers in the caucus for in-district money. I have farmers support. I've got a wide spectrum of people that support me financially in district. So he can say whatever he wants. It seems to be the talking point of the year. That's what I think that there are other races or other Democrat candidates are saying the same thing. So
I want to turn to last month's special session. You're one of several GOP lawmakers who have signed a letter asking the governor to restart negotiations on spending down the state surplus. Who do you think is going to swallow the blame for that deal not passing the Senate and not becoming law?
I think who's going to swallow the blame, and I will tell you, I'm a little shocked. I'm shocked it failed. I was, we negotiated for 2 months. Our caucus was in on it. We were informed. The governor did a great job. And was at the table, and Senator LeMahieu, and they all did a great job and came together. So I was really shocked and upset it passed. And I kept in contact with people in my district, my school superintendents during this whole process, some of them, and like, what do you think of the X, Y, and Z? And they were just ecstatic about it. I don't know how, when your poll comes out that 80% of the people support it, how you can justify not voting against it. I know they're trying. It was purely political reasoning that the Democrats in the Senate and some in the Assembly voted against it. You had the minority leader a few days after the bill was defeated made a flippant comment about me, saying, "Can you see Todd Novak running around his district telling people that he gave them a check?" So that tells you right there what they were doing. I think they're going to pay a price for it. And because I can guarantee you I'm going to run on this, and I don't know how, and my school superintendents are thanking me, they're on record. I have never seen anything like this happen since I've been in this building, and it just appalled me.
As an assembly lawmaker, let's say, by some act of God, all parties return to the negotiating table. Is there anything you see the Assembly GOP doing differently to make this happen a second time around?
It all depends. There's a little distrust there now with the Senate, because part of the 3 Republican senators that voted against it, a couple of them, they said they would vote yes if we gave a rebate check, and then they turned around and voted no. I would love to come back with the same deal. We actually, at some points, had different things in the deal that we pulled out. You know how it works. We had good things in there, but then you lose another senator here or there. I don't know how you could vote against, helping disabled veterans on property taxes, disaster relief too. That was part we put in there. So I would say we'd start from where we left and maybe throw some more stuff in to try to get them to vote for it. But I fully want to come back sincerely. That isn't a political thing. It's good for the state of Wisconsin.
I want to ask a broader question about school funding. You have spoken about how the per pupil funding adjustment in the funding formula, how that punishes rural schools, that needs to be reformed. Dodgeville School District has unsuccessfully gone to referendum 3 times now. What is keeping reform of the per pupil adjustment? Why hasn't anything been done about that?
Well, first of all, it's a bigger picture. We have lost 60,000 students that are not enrolled in schools in the last 10 years. I have 14 school districts in my assembly district. Some of them are 200 to 300 kids. Enrollment is decreasing. I have 1 school district, I believe, or 2 that are actually growing. The rest are decreasing. Dodgeville's a little different situation. They are decreasing too. They've got an open enrollment problem. They're well over 100 students open enroll out, which has raised eyebrows. And also taxes in Dodgeville, for example, last year in Dodgeville, the city of Dodgeville alone went up 17.8% in property taxes. So it's just a combination of factors with Dodgeville. And so it'll be interesting. I know they're talking about coming back for a 4th time. We'll see if it passes or not. All the referendums in my district in April passed. Many of them are operating referendums in small school districts, and they go every 3 years. The public supports them. They don't want to lose their school. And so, and that's declining enrollment is affecting them. But the public overwhelmingly supported those, understanding that, hey, if we want to keep our school, we're going to have to raise our own taxes. You can't throw money at open enrollment issues. If you're decreasing students, we just can't keep throwing money at them. We need to come up with a different solution. That's why I like this bill, because we gave them I firmly believe we need to give 50% special ed, pay for 50%, and keep increasing that until we get to a very good chunk of change that frees up more money for these school districts.
Gotcha. Turning back to the election. So recently, the Jobs First Coalition, which backs GOP candidates, has been running ads touting your willingness to stand up to party leadership. Political gamesmanship aside, are there places you see your party needing to shift, to buck norms, to hold on to, or to win back voters?
Well, I think, I fought a hell of a fight. A few of us did. The postpartum and the breast cancer screening was very important, and I tried several sessions to get that through, and we kind of put our foot down and got that passed this year. It's those kind of issues. I mean, in caucus discussions, we don't always agree on everything, and that's where you get a lot of work done. And the stuff I think that I do is the bills that don't come to the floor that we can kill before they even get to the floor, or like we did on the postpartum bill and the breast bill, we put our foot down and say, listen, we're not voting for anything until you pass these bills. And I was fighting with the speaker because he was totally opposed to that, and we won that battle. And so it's those kind of things. I think sometimes you got to look at what doesn't come to the floor along with what comes to the floor. There's a lot of bills that I've helped kill that I thought are bad bills for my own members. And so I think that's important.
Gotcha. Can I ask what kind of legislation you're thinking of there, outside of the postpartum and the breast cancer bills?
For that I brought forward, or
the ones that the behind the scenes kind of work you're talking about?
Well, that's all in closed caucus, so I'm not really going to get into that. And you'll see how many bills are introduced a year, and if there's that how many get to the floor, I guess you'd say. And it's not just me. We have a pretty robust caucus, and I'm very. Everybody is allowed to speak their opinions and give their reasoning for or against something. And the rule is 50 votes. And if they can't get to 50 votes, the bill doesn't come forward.
You mentioned the speaker. Speaker Voss is retiring. As someone who is planning to run again, did the speaker deciding to leave, did that influence your decision to run for re-election? There are a lot of folks who are not running for re-election right now.
No, and I think that people are making too big a deal out of people that aren't running for re-election. Nobody's not running because they're scared. Robin had indicated to me after the start of the session that this probably was going to be his last term. Some of the members that you saw aren't running at the start of the session. So this will probably be it. Look at the districts they're in. Some of them are in ruby red districts, and so it's not unusual. And I think we need to remember too. 2 years ago, 18 Assembly Dems didn't run. It's just a secular thing, so I wouldn't read too much into people not reading. Robin wanted to hit his 20-year mark, and he did, and I think that. Nobody was surprised. Maybe the media and some of the Dems, but nobody was surprised.
Gotcha. And who do you think should lead the caucus now that the speaker is stepping down?
I would say probably heir apparent will be Tyler August, simply because he's been Speaker pro tem. He's been the majority leader, works well with the caucus, and he's earned a lot of respect. And I would assume that he will be. I don't know if anybody else. I haven't heard of anybody. The first thing is I don't put that in my mind because we have to come back in the majority to have a speaker. I don't think, as I said before, I don't get overconfident on anything. And I think that's the worst thing you can do. And I don't think everybody's hatched down or buckled down and ready for the election, and we'll see where we are after that.
All right. Representative, thank you very much.
Good to talk to you. Thanks.
Thank you again to Representative Novak, to Spectrum, and to you, the listener. For WizPolitics, I'm Joshua Irvin, and this has been Capitol Chats.